Okay. All right, everyone rolling in. Good, 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 good. All right. Making sure everyone is cool, ready to rock. Now, perfect. How's my audio? Because I have a little bit of a story to tell you in a second. Can you hear me loud and clear? Good for now. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. All right. Perfect. All right. So, just to tell you what happened, this is this is how Sean pulls a rabbit out of an orifice and makes miracles happen. I went out to dinner about an hour and a half ago, and great big clap of thunder. And in the restaurant I was in, only about 2 kilometers this direction, power went out. I'm like, oh shit. Well, I've got an uninterruptible power supply here, but it's been a bit janky recently since we moved. So anyway, came home, my machine shut down. I'm like, ah, fuck it. Okay, start it up. All my programs gone. All my files gone. Windows throws up about 1 million error messages, and my machine is basically blank. I couldn't. Windows would log in, all my PIN numbers. Like you put your PIN in, doesn't work. Nothing works. All the drives vanished, and I'm like, I've got a broadcast here in a few. What the fuck am I gonna do? Scrambled, managed to get uh, even the browser, even Microsoft Edge wouldn't open. So I managed to find a janky browser in the Microsoft Store, installed that, reinstalled Chrome, reinstalled this. Photoshop gone, all my Adobe gone, all the Microsoft PowerPoint gone, all my presentations and everything I've created for the last 2 months for this masterclass, getting ready for it, gone. And I've got 90 minutes before we go live. Now, luckily, I managed to find archives on Dropbox and a couple of things, recreate some stuff, managed to get drivers for like all the things. So we're going to adapt, improvise, and overcome. This was Sean's going to be a busy dude tomorrow because I've got to basically wipe this system and start it from scratch because whatever's going on, it's all fucked. So that's my qualifier for tonight's training. But to say that we are, well, we're all right. But it's not freaking ideal for Sean. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's just dive right in because tonight we do have a lot to cover. Yeah, like I said, everything's disappeared. I can't even get into Discord. I'm using the browser for Discord at the moment. So yeah, half the shit isn't installing. The other half is barely working. So that just makes things it makes things interesting. So okay, let me just share this and let's dive on. I wonder what happened. I have no idea. I'm guessing the registry got fried without going into nerd terms. But yeah, it's something fundamentally bad happened at exactly the wrong time. It's almost enough to make me go back to Mac, but well, not that bad. So yeah, I would say it makes things exciting. Absolutely, not the kind of excitement I want. But anyway, so day 2, we're going to be finding the hidden gold in the sand that no one's heard of. So housekeeping, need to put those in the right bloody order, but make sure you are in the Discord community. We talked about that yesterday. If you want a recap of that, go watch the meet and greet and day one. I'm not going to do that again. Make sure you've upgraded your accounts. Replays are posted immediately after this session. And at the request of some people, I am putting up the replays for both sessions. So the morning and the evening. Someone mentioned that for session one, the explanation I made for some things in the evening session was a little clearer. So look, it's optional. If you want to watch both sessions, you don't need to, because I do cover the same stuff, but I'm putting them both there. It's your choice and options. Okay. I'll just clean my glasses so I could see, because I had a great big bloody thumbprint. If you're not able to get into Discord, I don't know why or what the problem per se is. Here's one thing: if you have it on your phone, no, let me just show you something real quick. If you have it on your phone first, or you had it installed on your phone first, you can do this. I'm going to log out real quick.
Sean, are you sharing?
Log out. Okay. So you get a QR code here.
Sean?
Okay. Now I have it.
Sean, are you sharing?
Just going to show you this real quick. So I'm just going to load up Discord. Okay, so got it on my phone. You can see there. Okay. So I'm going to come down to my profile. And there's an option here, which if I stop sharing for a moment, where the fuck is the controls? Where's Zoom? Okay, what the hell are the controls over there for? Okay, stop sharing. So I'm gonna try and share this. You'll see there's an option there at the bottom that says scan QR. Is it? Yeah, at the very, very bottom there, scan QR code. Okay, so what you can do is if I come back here to the browser, I'll scan that QR code. And what it'll do is, because I have my phone account, come on, you prick. So now it'll say, hey, do you want to log in? So I'm logged in from my phone. I have it installed on my phone, and now I'm logged in. That might help some people. And you cool. Now, someone is saying you can't see my screen. Hetmans, I'm familiar with, by the way, for the person who was mentioned in that. It couldn't find fuck all. Everything is removed from the registry. It's like the registry got fried. So it's, yeah, the data's there and everything else, but it doesn't recognize any programs installed and all that. But someone's saying they can't see my screen. You're seeing a black screen. Okay, hold on. Let me just see, share. Oh no, it's changed all the names of the fucking files. Okay, here we go. Change all the names of the screen. Right, now do you see Discord? Okay. So basically, I'll do it again real quick. I logged out. Yeah, changed all the IDs on everything. So like I said, you'll have to bear with me if we have issues. So scan QR code, which I'm doing on my phone. I'm scanning that QR. It says, do you want to log in? Yes. And boom, synchronize between my phone and it. So that might help a couple of people. Okay, cool. Now, so yeah, like I said, replays will be posted. Inner Circle and Red Carpet VIP replays are usually done when I wake up, which is usually within a few hours. Only sleeping 4 or 5 hours a day at the moment because of this masterclass, but hey, we work and adapt. Transcripts and summaries are processed after 24 to 48 hours Going to go for about an hour, and everything is posted in a document inside Discord. All right. So now that we've done that, can I share the Discord link? Fuck it. Hold on. In this document, I'll just put this here. So document. So I've got a document here. Okay. I'll just put a little section in here. Go here, watch that video, okay? So in that document that Tam just posted, you're good to go. All right, that'll get you everything. Follow the video and the link to Discord and everything else, okay? And the customer portal and all your other products and upgrades. All right, so if anyone reaches out to you on Facebook or Discord, pretending to be me, offering you some sort of investment or bullshit, it ain't me. Report them, spam them, kicking them bollocks. They're freaking losers. All right, so yesterday we went over Titan's Awakening, unlocking the ultimate freedom business. Today we're going to find the hidden gold in the sand. Tomorrow is about building the production line process, putting it together and actually placing trades. Day 4 is the most important one. It happens to be on Halloween, but this is the session that you absolutely must be on, okay? Because it brings everything together and shows you how to take this and make an empire from it. Day 5 is the Ask Me Anything session. And again, we covered all this, so I'm going to skip this. But remember, we are giving away $1,000 at the end of this masterclass. The code will be given at the end of this session. There was a code yesterday. I'm not going to repeat it. You have to go find it and watch this. Make sure that you watch every bloody session, basically. But I did say there would be a winner of $100, okay, for an aha moment. I went through and I read every single one posted in Discord. And a lot of kind words, a lot of amazing insights, a couple of things that made me go, yeah, okay, I get that. That's cool. But I have to pick a winner. And, okay, you're having double audio, Rick. You might want to log out and log back in. Okay, because if you're having double audio, if you're having an echo, it might be that something through your microphone or something, but I'm only broadcasting through one echo. Okay? Okay. So the winner chicken dinner is, I've got to give it to Matthew. Now, Matthew is an older student. Now, I don't mean in age. I mean, he's been on a few of our things over the years. And it was good to see him pop back up because I haven't heard from him for a long time. But Matthew, congratulations, you won the $100. He said, Sean is an encouraging example of treating trading as a solo sport that you can make money with in any market condition once you become good at it. In today's session, I actually had 2 aha moments. Okay, well, that's valid. Wait for the first div after the initial thrust. That seemed to be a common aha moment. We're going to get into the nuance of that tomorrow. When he said that, I recalled that many trades I entered while still on were still on this initial thrust, in fear of missing out. It's a valid point. While I came up on top on some, I know I could have entered at a much lower price and all such trades for higher wins. And then Sean showing the long wick, sign of exhaustion. So he's getting to the technical side. But this was just the first session. I'm genuinely excited to play, learn, and be open to Sean showing me how to minimize risk, yet maximize profits with his proven business-like approach to microcap trading. So that was good. I love it. Let's give Matthew a big thumbs up, round of applause, congratulations, and everything else, and then we can rock and roll. So, okay, and I need to, I don't know if Matt, I don't think he's here at the moment, but again, oh no, there he is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There he is. Okay, good. So Matthew, gonna need your PayPal information. We'll send that over to you once we're done. All right. So with that being said, let's dive into the agenda and hope nothing else crashes. So we're going to show you how to find a flows of opportunities, how to verify, validate opportunities. I'm going to give you my quick sweep checklist, how to avoid the number one mistake that traders make. And then we have an assignment. By the way, I just want to congratulate everyone who went ahead, did the homework yesterday. Can I get a show, put a 1 in the chat box if you installed your MetaMask and did your homework? Okay. A flood of 1s and yeses and done and pluses and all sorts. Good. All right, cool. That's good and groovy. Okay, everything exploded. Okay, good. I mean, everything, yeah, my chat box exploded, not my computer. Let's not say words like that and watch, because I don't need any more of that shit. So anyway, we'll also do a recap and then Q&A for day 2. So yesterday we talked about this 30,000 foot strategy, how to find, finding a new coin through announcements and all these other things, and then verify and validate. That's the section we're going to focus on today. Then tomorrow is executing a trade and getting up for a profit. So with that, let's go into how to find new opportunities. So the first one is microcap launch announcements. Now, there are forums and places where there's announcements made, Reddit, Bitcoin Talk for fresh announcements. You can subscribe to crypto newsletters that offer the inside scoop. Keep an eye on what's called ICO or IDO calendars. ICO stands for initial coin offering, and IDO, initial DApp offering and stuff like that for upcoming microcap projects. And really, this is sifting and keeping your ear to the ground. It's not actually what I do, okay? It's one way, it's valid, but it's not what I do, okay? There's the Twitter and Xverse, because they changed the name, obviously. So you can follow and find top crypto influencers and traders for insights and updates. You can do searches for hashtags like microcap and altcoin, and you will see hundreds and thousands of these, okay? Engage in conversations, ask questions, and learn from Twitter crypto community. And there are channels for influencers, coins and callers and everything else. And they're just people who are talking about whatever's launching. You can put, for example, altcoin launch as a search, or microcap launch as a search phrase, and you'll get all sorts of information. Now, Telegram is ground zero for crypto. So you can join active microcap discussions, groups for real-time market talk. And basically, Telegram, if you're not familiar with it, is a communications tool. It's kind of like Discord if in some ways, but there's lots of channels out there, lots of groups with talking about crypto and new launches and everything else. You can be part of project-specific channels. Like for what usually happens, as you'll see in a few, is a lot of coins and tokens have a Telegram group dedicated to that coin where you can get information. We're going to cover that in a few moments. I'm going to show you some examples. Now, network with like-minded traders, share tips, news, and insights. Now, here's the problem with Telegram. There's a lot of noise, a lot of cult-like shillers, and some great list channels and things like that, but there's also a lot of bullshit. So we'll cover some of that as well in a few moments. I'll show you how to filter through some of that. You can check, there's also launch lists. You can check out CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap for new listings. Utilize platforms that track new listings like CryptoPanic or ICO drops. I'll create these links and put them in the document. I haven't put these together yet, so regularly review lists to spot fresh opportunities before they explode. So there are, launch calendars. But one of the things that we talk about is sometimes people will talk about a new project, but they won't give you the actual token. I'll show you what that is in a moment. I like to know that token in advance because I can do checks against it to make sure that it's not bullshit. But they do that to protect from what's called snipers in this industry, which can sabotage a launch. So I want to know the token in advance. And one of the reasons we do the way we trade is we don't try and get in right at the very beginning of a launch because there's not enough data and we don't have the token. So one of the reasons we wait for the first thrust and then the first dip is it allows us to do a lot of analysis rather than going in blind and hoping for the best and then losing money. One of the ways I like, and I'll show you this in a moment, is pre-launches. Pre-launches are, yesterday I was talking about, oh, do I have my screen marker? Is that gone as well? Yeah, okay. So I can't draw on the screen. That's gonna suck. Okay, hold on one second. Let me just do this. But one of the reasons I like pre-launches is it gives me information to work with. I get to do some in advance analysis and verification. I'll show you this in a few moments. But let me just see if I can install this. I just want to install this tool. So this allows us to research upcoming projects. We don't have to get involved with a pre-launch, but they do these pre-launches to raise liquidity. So when they actually go live, they're basically crowdfunding initially before they go to the main launch. So they don't even put in their own money. They're doing it with a whole load of potential investors, but they get allocated these tokens immediately. So there's an incentive to join, but there's also some shenanigans that I don't like, especially if they launch and it flops and then you can't get your coins out and you lose money. I don't like that. So a lot of what we do bypasses that bullshit, but we can use it as a research tool, as I'll show you in a moment. Now, I'm trying to use the screen marker, but that won't install either, so fuck it. Okay. So we generally do not participate in pre-launches anymore. We used to, but because of the habit for shenanigans and not being able to liquidate my tokens and turn them into cash, I don't bother with them. But it allows us to keep tabs on your project social media to stay informed. And it's great for awareness and seeing initial performance and getting the token. And I'll show you an example of that in a moment. Now, there are paid shillers. These are hype mongers. These are carnival barkers. And learn to spot paid hype from honest opinions. Because there's people out there that are paid and given tokens early to be a brand ambassador, but they don't have, let's just say they have a vested interest in playing along with the bullshit. And they know nothing about the trading or the token, or if they do, they don't care because they're getting paid to do it. So shield coins, you'll see a lot of carnival barkers, like I said, but you've got to do your own research and avoid the blind investments where they don't tell you the token. There are, again, a lot of these shillers end up on pump and dumps where they can leave you high and dry. So you can use these to raise awareness, but do your own research. So if there's enough people talking about a coin, it may be interesting, but then we do more validation verification, as I'll show you. Now, the other one that is a good source is microcap callers. These are people like me who are out there analyzing coins, doing the research and everything else. And they build their business on their reputation for having a good track record. There aren't that many out there that I actually like and listen to, okay? But you can cross-check what they're talking about with other trusted experts, with doing your research. And again, you might find some opportunities. Always, you'll hear this phrase a lot, DYOR, do your own research. Never rely solely on other people's opinions or calls. So it can be a good starting point, but one thing I do see a lot are a lot of these callers eventually sell out, or they're promised big chunks of cash to promote, and then they see it too tempting, and then they sell out, and they ruin their reputation and hard work. Some of them really are very protective of their reputations, but they're few and far between. So those are all the different ways, and I could show you examples of these, but what about we bypass all that shit? Okay, now this next part is one of our newer secrets. Would you like to see the easy button for doing research? And then Thursday, I'm going to show you a much easier method, even than what I'm about to show you. But put a yes in the chat box. Let me know that you're alive. That gives me a chance to take a drink, because even though it's only been a day, I've already started to lose my throat. Not only losing my machine, but losing my voice. That's weird. That tasted like cigarette smoke for a second. I'm like, I don't even smoke. Why is that? Oh, that's weird. All right, bear with me a sec. Fresh bottle. What the fuck that was? I just got a whiff of it. I'm like, huh? I haven't smoked in freaking years. All right. Anyway, so let's pull this up. I'm going to come over to Dextools. By the way, yesterday we looked at a token, and I can't remember if it was in the red carpet session, because my doing so much yesterday, or if it was on the main call. But does anyone remember we briefly looked at Loosecoin? Put a yes in the chat box if you did. Okay. Well, yesterday when we looked at it, and we were just throwing around, it did 96.4%. I'll use that as an example. It went on to do, and just do it here, over 379% to peak while we were sleeping. I said to keep an eye on this. Okay, boom. But yeah, even if you got out after it started dropping, still over 284%. And it actually is giving a second pop. So yeah. So this is John Lovett. You're asking about Discord. How else can you get to it? Whatever device you're using right now. If you don't have it on your phone, you can use it in a browser. You can use the download version. There's many options. I'm not going to talk about it. All right. So no more conversations about getting into Discord. So anyway, what these both Dex Screener and Dextools have is a couple of little tools, a couple of little hidden gems. We're going to go to live new pairs. Now, what we're going to do is filter out a lot of noise, a lot of bullshit. And like I said, Thursday, I'm going to show you an even better version of this. But what we're going to do is, let's start with Solana. Solana. There we go. Cool. Now, what we want to look for is, the first thing is we want a total liquidity over 50K. At a minimum, 30K. Now I'm looking and I'm not seeing a lot. So, and I want it to be, see how many these coins launching 16 seconds, they're launching every few minutes. So I want one. Jesus, there's coins being launched every few seconds here. This is crazy. So I'm going to launch down. I want to see something weird going on here. So I want to see coins that have been at least, I want to say 2 hours. Okay, so let's go to the next page. Okay. This is a little weird. There's literally about 100 coins being launched a minute here. And that is insane. So I call bullshit on that. So what we're going to do, just for the sake of simplicity, go to Ethereum. Okay. We have a tool that cuts through all this noise again, so bear with me. Right, so let's just do Ethereum. For the sake of argument and paper trading here, we want to look for a coin that has at least 50K. So we look at total liquidity, and we want to make sure that the pool variation is green. Why? This means there's buys and sells. If there's 0%, that means it's quite likely bullshit. Okay, so that's the first thing. Even if it's green, doesn't mean it's not bullshit, but it's a first filter. So this one launched 1 hour, 7 minutes ago, loose on Ethereum. Well, sounds familiar. Now, this is a copy of the one that we were looking at. Can anyone tell me what's wrong with this picture? Can anyone tell me, just looking at my screen, why we would never trade this coin? Audit, yeah, you got it. Audit in red. It's not rugged yet. That's a term, hasn't dropped. This looks like a honeypot. The reason being is there's no cells. Just up, 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 up. There's no common data. And yes, the biggest red flag that I won't even look is huge red flags. It's a honeypot. Now, a honeypot, just for the terminology, means you can buy, you can't sell. So you don't put your money in there. Done. It's a scam. Walk away. The whole point of this is it's playing off of the other loose that we looked at yesterday, and it draws people in because they're thinking, oh my God, it's doing this huge, huge growth and yada, 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 and people buy in, not doing their homework, not doing their research, and they get, well, to be honest, fucked. This is why we do our checks. We do our checks. So, all right, so we'll come down. Let's have a look and see if there's anything else that catches my eye. Okay, 50,000, but no variance. 11,000 variance, but too small. Let's have a look at WMAGA. So I'll open that one up. I'll see if we can find some more. There's one. Fren. Okay. 72,000 and variance. Tremp, which again, variance in that. Okay. Suma. Big variance, big pot. Okay. There's several Sumas. That already tells me bullshit. Or there's a few clones. Trump USA. It's a little lower, but we'll allow it for now. I'll have a look. Red Panda. All right. You expect this time of year coming close to election, there's going to be a lot of Trump or Harris related ones. Funnily enough, not so many Harris ones because she's against crypto, but there's a lot of speculation that Trump and Vance are pro crypto. So again, for the crypto community, that's going to be an interesting dynamic. Okay, Trump, Vance. Okay, so lots of those. I do expect half of those going to be bullshit, by the way. Not getting into the politics of that because I don't have a dog in that fight. Okay, or a pony in that race. All right, so we got a few open. Let's have a look. So that one, 7 audit fails. You can click over here. Yep, it's a honeypot. Yep, more info. Yeah, more flags than a battleship. All right, here's one, Friend AI. All right, so we had a big thrust. Mark off the high. Now, here's the thing. I can say, well, okay, first of all, I got 9 yellow audits. Now, just to go through some of these real quick, I'm just going to go through what I look for. Hey, not getting into it. If Harris is not against crypto, fine, great, groovy. Like I said, don't care about the politics. So I'm not going to get anyone's back up being pro one way or the other. Don't give a shit. All right. So we're not going to go political here. So anyway, tax modifiable, not a problem. Mintable, not really a problem. Blacklisted, yes, that is an issue. I would probably walk away from a blacklisted one. External call risk, yes. Yeah, there's quite anti-whale. I don't care about anti-whale. That's fine. But blacklisted and external call risk, that would be a possible walk away from. Some of those are used for modifications. By the way, mark off and stuff like that, we're going to go in more detail tomorrow. Okay, I caught myself doing the markup. I don't want to do that right now. In fact, let me remove that because that's part of tomorrow's trade. I'm getting ahead of myself. 9 possible audits, that would make me look through things and see if there's any bullshit. Proxy contract, that's a concern, but it's a gray. It's marked in gray because it's not really a big issue. Some of these are modifiable because they do, protection against people flooding the coin and doing some crazy stuff. But there's a lot of yellows which are not too bad, but I would proceed with caution. Other risks undisclosed, yeah. Yeah, that would make me a little concerned. The other thing is there's no website, there's no Twitter. Yeah, there's not a lot of information. Okay, now Tremp, let's have a look. First of all, buys and sells. It does have web, Twitter, and everything else. We'll go through this checklist stuff in a moment. So I just want to quickly say, there's one discount, 6 audits. Everything says it's a honeypot. Guess what? You've just killed your list. That one, scam as well. This one just went live. Only 1 audit risk, it says. What is it? Balance modifiable, but there's not a lot of information there. So again, maybe come back and look at it. Red Panda, that looks like bullshit, but it's very early. Okay, this one looks like it's green audit. It's past everything. It's got a 1.48 million market cap already. But when I see that kind of this stepping here, just looking at the chart here, yeah, not a lot. It went up, across, and then it's weird. Not a lot of volume, not a lot of trading in the first few minutes. I'd probably walk away from that one. Okay, this one, no sells. Let's have that initial thrust, but it's very okay. I need to be able to fucking draw here. Bear with me, guys. I want to explain what a candle is, and I need to be able to do that. So hold on. Screen light. Let's see if there's anything here. I want to find if I can see if we can get an alternative so I can draw on the screen. Nope, it's going to be a bastard. found one. Let's see if this works. Bear with me, because I'm just installing. Da, da, da. Sorry, I'm just installing this. Could sneeze as well. All right, so we can see that there is a sale here and there, but yeah, it looks like shite. All right, so we can kill that one. 2 audits. Nothing high up. Sneeze again. Okay, anti-whale, I'm not worried about that. Other risks, unspecified. Okay, but what we can do here is we can take the token, which every contract, every coin has a token. You can see it here. I can copy this and I can take it over to Token Sniffer, and there's different token sniffers for different coins. Actually, let me just auto-filled. I'm going to take this Trump AI. Warning, this token was flagged due to evidence of bug, hack, or scam. Done. And I always take every one and run it through a sniffer. Okay, 0 out of 100. Token is sellable, not a honeypot at this time. That failed. This token appears to be unsellable. Bye. See how quick you can go through some of this shit? Let's take this token here. All right. Copy it. Run it through Token Sniffer. Hidden balance modifier. Boom. Bye. Okay, let's have a look at this one. So you can come down here and you can see the trust score. Usually when a coin's first launched, there's not a lot of trust. As a coin goes forward, it builds trust. That is usually a good sign. So let's have a look and see if it passes the next part of the test. $80 out of 100 looks legit. The creator wallet contains less than, they've got quite a chunk of it, but that's not a big deal. In terms of that, this coin looks legit. All right. Come here, grab this. Okay. Friend AI, 75%. Usually I want to see owner renounced. So that one just alone makes me very hesitant to trade that one. So out of about 8 or 10 coins, only one of them passes the initial test. Okay. And the worst audits, yeah, they tend to be at the top. But like I said, we want to see no reds. And then other ones are not so worried. If you see anything honeypot, you know, that's a concern. In terms of all of these, scam risk is, yeah, one of the bigger ones, but there's a little link here. More, go to Token Sniffer. So from every one, you can launch Token Sniffer and it'll go into it in detail, okay? And you can see it on all the different tools. Now, I did install this. Let's see if this opens. Okay. No, it crashed immediately. Okay, we don't have any pens. So does anyone want to know what a candle actually means? I did this yesterday on the red carpet extended session, but does anyone want to understand what a candle actually means? Okay, so I'm going to use the native tool here. Okay, so a candle has several elements. It has a wick. Okay, I'm doing this with my mouse, not my pen. Can it? Okay, we do have Wacom drivers. Yes, okay. Yay. All right, so I'm going to do the best I can with the tools I've got. Do I have a full screen version? Oh my God, yes, we can adapt, improvise, and overcome. Right, so first things first, a candle has a body. It also has wicks, sometimes at the top and bottom. Now, if I can make this work, okay, let's go green. Right. So if we have a green candle, okay, you have the high, the low, and it opened here, and at the end of the segment, whatever this is, in this case, it's a 15-minute candle, it closed here. So all a candle represents is what happened in that time period, 15 minutes. Now, if it doesn't have a wick, that means where it closed was also the high. Okay. If it doesn't have a low or it doesn't have a wick on the bottom, that means the open was also the low. So you can see here, there was no wick on the bottom. There was a wick on the top, so that was the high. That was the low, and it was the open. It closed right there. So that allows you to understand what's going on in general on a candle. Now, the flip side of that is a red candle. So I'm just undoing all these sketches. Okay. So a red candle means it went as high as here, as low as here, so that shit stays the same. It opened here, but it went down, and it closed here. So it's red because it went down, it's green because it went up. That's all a candle represents. And in this case, I've got a 15-minute chart, so each candle represents what happened in 15 minutes. Okay? So now that we understand that, we can see that in general, this went in an arc. Okay, just change the color of that. I'll make it a little thicker. Okay, so it went in an arc. It went up, and it really hasn't done much right now. So the first thing we do is check for audits. We check to see, okay, is this coin even worth looking at? The next thing we want to see is, are there sells? Well, in this case, yes, there are. Okay, good. Does it look like a normal chart? In other words, is there buy and sell and variance? If there is, good. Those three things alone will eliminate 90% of the bullshit. The problem with microcaps, and certainly I would say the greed factor for a lot of people, is they think it's going to the moon, that it's going to go up, and people jump in and they lose their money. But just using a little common sense and those three things that I just talked about will eliminate 99% of the, or 90% of the bullshit. Now, here's the other thing that we do. We're going to go through a checklist in a moment, but let's just go through, let's just kind of go with the back of the envelope. We want to validate the project or the company fundamentals. Now, if it's a meme coin, there's not a lot for us to check. It's a meme coin, okay? If it's a legitimate business, then, okay, we can go check the company, what they're doing. We can validate the token and the code, which again, that's token sniffer. We can see if there's anything about this that we can read from the website that tells us about the tokenomics and the technicals. In other words, are they making a good presentation for what they're doing? We can then do risk assessment and trade planning. This basically we're going to cover in more detail tomorrow, because we can say, okay, this one looks tradable and we want this thing to happen. And if it does, then we can go ahead and trade. So we're going to cover that more tomorrow. And then the general sniff test, which is what we just did. So I'm going to give you a download to the quick sweep checklist. I'm just going to put this in here. Whoops, no, let me just grab it. Ping my balls. I'm going to go through some of this in a moment here. So that's a link to everyone. And that opens up a Google Doc. So project fundamentals is that, and this is a short thing, but let me go through. Is there a clear and well-defined use case? In other words, if it's a business, is it clear what they're trying to do, or are they very vague about it? In other words, smoke and mirrors. Okay, simple things. Is there a real world problem being solved? Is their team transparent? In other words, are they know your customer? Are they KYC'd? Do they have strong community support? Is it a well presented website? Well, let's have a look at this. They've got a website. What is it? Well, it's a Trump coin. So that tells me straight away, it's not a business. It has no use case. So I know I'm going to get in and out. Caroline, I'll answer that in a few moments. So let's have a look. What's their website? Okay, it's a meme-based coin. Donald Trump. There's the token. And buy now chart. Fuck all information. Tokenomics. Primary elections, general elections, electoral college taking office. In other words, there's no fucking tokenomics. It's a bullshit meme website. Okay. Now, does that mean it's tradable or there's anything here? They've got a roadmap. Fuck. Tokenomics. There's 42 million. That's the ticker. Token name. Taxes 0. So there's no buy and sell tax. Let's have a look. 1.2 million market cap. Liquidity 73,000. Has a high trust. So to me, this is tradable, but I say but, some interesting things have to happen. It's got a presence. Let's have a look at Telegram. So we'll click open the Telegram. Only 34 subscribers. Walk away. I want there to be at least 1,000. Okay, it's 34. That means no one gives a shit. The website already warns me that there's no effort put into this. It was a very low quality website, but there's no team. Let's have a look on Twitter and see how many followers they have on this account. Right. Only 3 following, 93 followers. It's not passing the metrics. It's not passing the sniff test. There's no interest. It's thrown together probably by AI and fuck all else. Okay, so to me, no interest. And also tell you right now from the chart, there's nothing happening. Here's why. If you look at this, I'm looking for the initial thrust and it's dead. It's already fading away, hasn't beat its initial thrust. No interest. And I can tell by social media there's no effort. I can look at their Telegram. Let me just view it in Telegram and I'll log in. Oh shit, no, my Telegram won't boot. But anyway, If there's only 34 subscribers, I know that's fuck all. I don't even need to go any further. What would you like to show as a tax? Zero tax is great. Usually there's a 5 and 10% tax, depending, and it tries to dissuade people from selling too early. So it's just kind of like a process of the buy and sell. Oops. Oh shit. Apparently my super glue leaked on my desk and is now stuck to my desk. I guess that one. Another job for tomorrow and a screwdriver. Don't touch it, Sean, it's still sticky. I might stick myself to the bloody desk. So anyway, right now, yes, fuck all interest, nothing happening, no volume, and all the sniff test failed. So guess what? Boom, go find some more. So do they have an active social media presence? No, in this case, they did not. Do they have a responsive team? Well, if I go into Telegram, I can see if they're responsive. In this case, well, there's only 34 people in there. No. Do they have regular updates and project news? No, on Twitter they didn't. Okay. Do they have a comprehensive and understandable white paper? Now that's part of the tokenomics. That's, is it clear what they're doing, or is it obfuscated with bullshit and tech jargon? No, they had fuck all on this one. Okay, it doesn't need to have that, but if they have it, does it make sense? For legitimate companies that are trying to do, powerful stuff, that helps. But right now, in this season, there is a lot of meme coins, and that's going to be the focus of a lot. There's Q1, like January, tends to be more businesses, especially if we're in a positive crypto environment, then there tends to be a lot more businesses. This time of year, everyone's trying to cash in on the interest of microcaps in October. So you're going to get a lot of meme coins, especially around, you'll see a majority of these are all election based. It's because they're trying to capitalize on the interest of that right now. So security and code quality, well, that's token sniffer territory. Any BS code, rug pulls, anything that token sniffer says is bullshit and, or red or it's flagged, walk away. It's a simple. There's so many being launched that you don't need to jump through bullshit, okay? And then tokenomics and supply. Is there a fair token distribution? Blah, 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 blah. And there's basically tokenomics and supply. If there's only, say, $10,000 market cap, but they've released 15 trillion tokens, it's fuck all, okay? It doesn't make sense. So market and competition, that's a marginal one. I usually don't care about that. Exchange listings, are they listed on CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap? Have they done any regulatory compliance? If that's on their website, that's a good sign. If they're not, it's not a bad sign, but it's a green checkbox in that regard. Any historical price data or trading volume? In other words, do they do a pre-launch? Usually they'll list that on their website. How did they do? Did it succeed? Did they hit targets? But a lot of these coins don't have any of this information. But the more they have, the better I'm going to be about it. But the main thing for me is, okay, let's take another, let's do BNB chain as an example, just to switch to a different city. And I'll go ones that are in the 3 hours, 4 hours range. What's this? Only 1,500. Okay, 77.93. Let's have a look at this one. 4 audits, no website, no Twitter, going straight up. Okay, would we trade this one or would we walk away? Tell me right now. No, walk. Fucking, see, you're getting it already. even in just an hour, and we've only been talking about this for a few minutes, you've already eliminated it without wasting another fucking second on anything else. We don't need to go through the quick checklist. We don't need to do anything else. I mean, I can pull up the audits. It's saying it's not a honeypot, not a honeypot, but I can look at that and tell you right now, there's some shenanigans. So let's have a look at Token Sniffer. Warning, flagged, bullshit, get out, boom, done. All right. We don't have to think about it anymore. Now, there's another one here, which is called SafeFu. And this is on some chains, mostly BNB coins. But let's have a look at this one. This is another audit. It says 99 out of 100. No, 0. Fuck all, run. Honeypot, bomb, trade simulations, it's fucked. Done. Don't have to waste another second. So you can go through here, pull up a lot of different coins. Now this one, okay, I'm just going to pull up a few. Like I said, there's a lot of bullshit out here, but if you pass the base tests, and I'm pulling up ones that are even not quite within the realm here, just to get a variance. Okay, so pull up some more. All right. Trade or no trade? One holder, walk away. Exactly. No, 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 no. Now, this has only been gone for a little bit, but so 2 bars, well, I'm not going to say immediately walk, but 6 audit. Okay, let's have a look at Token Sniffer. $25 out of 100. I won 75 at least. By the way, someone was asking this. Okay, John, I can't help you with Discord. All I can do is point you in the right direction, do it in the browser. If you don't have it on your phone, you don't need a phone to use Discord. You can just put it right in and sign up with email or what have you. But if you don't have a mobile phone, I can't help you. Okay, that if it requires a phone number, I don't think it does. But again, can't help you on that one. And we work with Discord. So yeah, if that means you can't do this or you can't be part of Discord, then I would say make sure you're here live. That's it. You'll still get the same value and everything else, but if you can't get into Discord, maybe borrow a friend's phone or a phone number or something like that. If that's okay, I'm trying to help you do. All right, so yeah, 75 or greater, that is good. If it's in the 80 to 90 to 100, that's perfect. Okay, so anyway, Freya 25, boom, dismissed. HT, initially no interest on launch, popped up, has sales, 7 audits. All right. Let's have a look on Token Sniffer. Boom, walk away. Done. Don't have to go any further. Goat. All right. Just visually, yes or no? See, no, because it's straight up. It smells like bullshit. See, even this, just doing this, you can just go through these and like, yep, no, 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 no. All right, now this one, ooh, this is a sneaky fucker. Because it has buys, but it has occasional sells. So whoever coded this one got a little bit sneaky. They'll throw in a lot of sells, but then a lot of buys and then a little bit of selling. A lot of buys, a little bit of selling, but it's going straight up. Walk away or not? Yeah, Andrew, you caught the obvious one. Walk away. Yeah, still no. because red audits, exactly right. It's a honeypot. It's a proxy contract. Contract verified, no. And we could just take this into Token Sniffer. I don't even need to look. Flag due to evidence. Hand done. All right, cool. Now this one's so shit. It has no volume. It has one little nugget. There's nothing there. I don't even need to look at that one. Boom. Okay, so very quickly, eliminate all the bullshit. Okay. Mood. All right. First of all, pool amount only 0.01 BNB, 19,000 liquidity. Yeah, that annoys me. But yeah, there's nothing here. It's scam, red audit. Don't even need to go any further. Honeypot, yada yada yada. Okay. Does anyone here know Mudeng? I'm curious. Mudeng. Okay, it's a thing. It was a viral sensation. It's a pygmy hippopotamus here in Thailand that is everyone's going crazy about. I had no idea what the fuck it was either, and I'm here in Thailand. Everyone's talking about this goddamn pygmy hippo, and it's the cutest little bug you've ever seen. It really is. It's like a hippopotamus. It's this freaking big. It's tiny. So yeah, I was hopeful with Mudeng. So someone's saying, okay, fine. Can you show us a good one? Okay, let's have a look. Okay. Now this is an established one. Okay. Let me go, actually, let me switch back to Ethereum. Okay, go back to live new pairs. Okay, so a good one was this one. Okay. Launched. Okay, let's have a look at the website. Let's have a look at Twitter. Let's have a look at Telegram. Okay, so loose, it's a meme coin. Okay. Now, apparently, this is based off of something the Catholic Church did. I have no freaking idea. What is it about? Connect to this, get some Ethereum, da 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 da. So there's nothing on here. There's no use case. It's just a meme. Okay. It has only a few hundred followers. Okay. Telegram, 302. It's certainly in the lower end of the spectrum, but all right, let's take the contract. It has a 2.8 million market cap. Okay, I just need to copy the coin, so I'm just going to click on that, take it into Token Sniffer. $100 out of 100, passed everything. Okay, simple as that. So, and right now it's popping again. Now, for me, I don't care if it's a meme coin. I just know that I'm going to be trading it and getting it, getting in, getting out, getting in, getting out, and that's it, because I'm going to be protecting my assets. But right now, it's capturing interest. Yes, it's got two orange audits. Let's see the disclaimer. So anti-whale, not worried about that. And other risks, unspecified. I'm not going to worry about that. If Token Sniffer says it's good, that's good enough for me. Then I'll dig deeper and I'll find out what is it about. I'll go check the social media, the Telegram. And literally, it's as quick as that. If it passes the front-end sniff test, I'll go through it through Token Sniffer. Okay, how does the chart look in general? Fine. Do they have a website listed? Is there other information? What can I gather from that? All right. Then I can get set up for a trade. And the deeper, if I go through like 20 or 30, I refine it down to 2, and I've eliminated most of them, then I'm good to go. And I can trade on. So I haven't actually placed a trade this evening. I've just got a couple ones that I'm watching right now, and that's it. So, and again, because I had this computer malfunction, that's taken up a lot of my evening. So again, if there's no trade, that's okay, walk away. But other than that, it's as simple as find a coin that meets the criteria, open up a few tabs, find the coins, eliminate the bullshit, whatever's left, dig deeper. That's it. Now, in terms of the process, does that make sense? Does that simplify it? Initial bullshit checks, token sniffer. If it survives that, go check out the website, the social media presence. If it passes that, then it goes into your short list for trading. Simple, right? Not that complicated. And if there's no trade, that's all right, because we don't want to waste money on shit. Okay? Now, the other thing is, and this is something we'll talk about on Wednesday, but sometimes there's coins that have additional interest and additional opportunities. This is one, Pepe, that has been around for a long time. And right now, it's popping up. We're going to qualify that on Wednesday. But there's second entries for coins that can create interest. So I'm just having a quick, let's switch to, let's have a look on Tron as an example. So I'm going to go to live new pairs and see. Okay, anything, not as many launch over here, but it's an interesting one. Let's have a look at Tosei. 64 out of 99. No audit because it's on Tron and there's not a token sniffer for that. So for me, already looking at it, yeah, not a lot of volume, not a lot of interest, no website, no anything else. Boom, walk away. And there's no, if I can't audit it, I ain't doing it. I ain't trading it. So that's a good kind of, I would say, a good base of operations. Let's have a look at Arbitrum because there's sometimes some good stuff on here. So let's have a look at Star. Okay, one audit, 87 out of 99, but this is an older coin. But you can see what's it, if you just look at that chart, what's it doing? What would you say the trend is on this chart? Downtrend. It's going down. So I have no interest in that fucking coin. Excuse my accented French. So again, just using common sense, you can cut through 99% of all the bullshit and all the noise. Now, looking at this one, I believe is an older coin. I'm just waiting for it to see it load. Yes, there we go. Now, in the short term, what's it doing? It's going up. Seasonal, maybe. It's part of October. If you look to the beginning of the month, it went up, short, and it's going up. So in the short term, it's a turnaround. It's a possible turnaround, qualified. Maybe there's a future opportunity, maybe not, but doesn't matter right now. We got other things that we can trade. So that there's a lot of opportunities. Like I said, there's so many freaking opportunities, but cutting through the bullshit is trickiest part. And again, very, very quickly, you can go through, you could go find 50 coins, refine it down to 3, maybe even 1, and then look through them all. Which one's the best one? That's your trade for the day. Done. All right. Now, how would we place a trade with MetaMask? That's tomorrow's training. All right. So don't get ahead of yourself. So with that being said, all right. So Did it pass the test? Place the trade. And like I said, we're going to do this tomorrow. Now, the biggest mistake that most people make. Risk management is critical. Okay. This is a business. So we want to be ruthless. If there's a trade, great. If there's not, walk away. One of the things we talked about earlier was trade planning. And this is really the big part of trading as a business, is knowing where you're going to get out before you get in. Knowing what you qualify as a setup before you do anything. Now, also, some people take all their money and throw it on a single coin, thinking it's going to go to the moon, through the roof, and all the other shit. Doesn't happen. So never go all in on a single coin. That's the greatest way to lose all your money. It's about diversification across multiples. The other thing is people get greedy. They have a home run or they have a very successful trade, and they think the next trade is going to be super successful too, just because, hey, they did it once. Treat every coin, every trade, every token as an individual entity to be scrutinized and then taken to the next level. And the other thing, and we'll get into this with some examples tomorrow when I reinstall all my operating system, is letting greed keep you in a coin when you should get out. Because people will see how it went up to 200% and then it came down to 100%, but I'm going to stay in because it might go back up. Well, it might fucking hell is like as well. So if you have a reason to get out of a trade, if you have a reason to stay with a trade, that's fine. But don't let greed be one of them. Okay? Discipline and focus is key here. Doing the rules, the checklists, and everything else. That's what it is. This is a business. Follow the process. Does that make sense? Does that make sense real quick? Okay, cool. Yes. Okay. Very, very important. All right, cool. With that being said, assignment time. Now, you can either do this individually or we have a little bit of an experiment. This is going to be brave. This is either going to be great or it's going to explode in my face. Do I want to pull the pin on that grenade and see? Fuck it. Let's have some fun. Right. So here's what I want you to do. Go find newly launched coins on Ethereum, okay, and see if you can find it, find coins. Here's the thing you could also do. Do it as a group, collaborate on Discord. You can do it individually if you want, or you could do it and give reasons, discuss it in the community for reasons for either, yes, it seems valid, or did you find a red flag? Did you find a problem? Now, here's the thing. If it passes your tests, then let others critique. Let's have some fun with it. Don't be mean. Don't be anything else, but work together. Maybe you can have some fun. Or you can just do it yourself and then post. Here's what I want you to do. When you find it, and it says in the Facebook group, but obviously Discord, but if you find a coin that's valid, and I'll just use MAGA as an example, just for the sake of it. When you post a coin, by the way, this one's making me a bloody mint at the moment, but just take it, take the link and copy and paste it. What will happen is when you paste this in Discord, just come down here. So I'll just use this as an example. Where will I put it? I'll put it in the replays just because I don't want to confuse anyone in the main group. When you do this, it will actually show you the trust, the holders, the market cap, and everything else, so other people can go look at it. Do not trade. I'm saying this very fucking clearly. Do not trade a coin. We're not doing that. We're doing that tomorrow, and we're going to be paper trading. But go do your analysis, and if you find a coin that passes the sniff test, the token sniffer test, and then you dig a little deeper. If you find one that's good, and that it's a newly launched coin, launched in the last 24 hours, post it. Okay, that's the homework. Go find a coin. And if you can do that, absolutely fan-bloody-tastic. All right. And yeah, I'll put this because we're not using Facebook, we're using Discord group. And then, was it good? Was it bad? Okay. If you find one that you're going to find a lot of bad coins. Okay. That's okay. Those are the ones we're eliminating. What we want to do is use the data we have available to eliminate the bullshit. Okay. Why is a top 2 holders have less than 1 sol? Okay, so Arturo's asking that. The reason for that, sir, is that means that there's no fucking money in the pot. 1 sol is only worth $174. If the top 2 holders have less than 1 sol, that means there's no money in the pot. There's no liquidity. Okay, so yeah, great. Okay, cool. All right, so let's recap. Okay, so you've discovered how to find a continuous flow of opportunities. Verify and validate, use the quick sweep checklist, which I've actually shrunk from an extensive list down to, does it pass the bullshit test? Does it pass the token sniffer? All right, now, what other information do we have in general? Is it worth trading? That's it, very, very simple. Okay. Avoid the number 1 mistake that traders make, which is a combination of greed and not planning their trades and everything else. And a crap ton. Okay, in the past, you favored Solana. You seem to, okay, you know what, let's switch over to Q&A. You seem to be changing to ETH. No, I go where the money is. If there's some good opportunities on Ethereum, then I'll trade Ethereum. If there's good opportunities on Solana, then I'll trade there. I will switch between them both, wherever the money is. So I do trade a lot on Solana, but also some of the bigger coins, which have a longer track history, and I'm trading bigger amounts of money, Ethereum. Okay, still doing very well over there. But Solana is much cheaper. If you look at this, gas prices, which is the cost of doing a transaction with Ethereum, it's pretty low right now. I've seen this at 45. The higher it is, don't sneeze, don't sneeze. The higher it is, then the more expensive it is to transact. But if you look on Solana, yeah, it's basically pennies. But there are plenty of opportunities over here. Actually, if I come to the DEX board, let's have a look. Daily. Let's see if there's lots of fucking Lucy coins and everything else. That's the latest hype coin. Okay, let's have a look at hot pairs. 99. This is another place you can look, by the way. Volume created 13 days ago. 2 days ago. Let's have a look at this one. Pop goat. Okay. Now this one, again, I think I showed you this one yesterday with DEX Screener. But yeah, this one has done over 1,000% at its peak. Again, all right there. So this is another way to quickly go through. All green audits, high trust. Let's see if we can arrange it by 11 hours. Okay. Volume, total market cap 8.2 mil. Nepe, let's have a quick look. 11 hours ago, it's dropped like a brick. So had a lot of initial interest. Where was the trade could have started right there. Yeah, 67%, but it's dropped like a brick. So there may be a future potential, or maybe what I'll put on the side list. But yeah, having a look at these, like I said, created 11 hours ago, 2 days ago. Let's have a look at Chaos. Okay, created 2 days ago, did a lot. Okay, actually it says 2 days ago. That's actually about 4 days ago now. But yeah, dropped off. Okay, so upcoming pulls. Okay, let's have a look. These are ones that are launching. I'm just looking at them real quick. Total market cap 10K. This also is another way to get, how do you know when to exit trade? We cover that tomorrow. Anything about trading, we're covering tomorrow. Okay. This is just finding the coins right now. So having a look at this, I want to see total market cap. The cat launches in 4 hours. Okay. 95.7 million. That smells like bullshit right there. Supply $9.9 million. Okay, billion. Okay, I think that's bullshit. Okay. So these ones are coming up in the next day. Let's have a look. No data yet. Token is able to be checked. I'll use some extra strategies right now. Probably shouldn't, but I'm going to. 100 out of 100. Okay, hold on. That's the, okay, did I pick the wrong fucker? Okay, copy that. Because that was loose. No results, token doesn't exist. So it reloaded the same page. But nothing to check, no data. All right, so can't see bugger all on these yet. It says quick intel. It's passed, so maybe you want to look at when it goes live. Let me switch over to Ethereum again. Let's have a look at upcoming. Just seeing what's going on. Some of these are the ones we were looking at, funnily enough. I'm just scanning them. Launched just a few hours ago. So let's have a look at these three real quick. Yeah, Donald J. Trump. Now, again, let's just go to audit. Token sniffer it. 100 out of 100. We know it's a meme coin. We know what it's based on. Yeah, right now, it's done 117% before it dropped off, but there's potential there. Okay, Endoge. Now, this is an interesting one. First thrust is right there. It's hovering around it right now. There's a potential trade there. Let's have a quick look at the. So I spot that immediately. So it's making me interesting because of the information. Waiting. 45. Not a verified contract. Walk away. Done. All right. That one popped and dropped off. Done fuck all. Don't even have a pattern. Don't even need to look at it. Done. So possible. There's actually a possible double dip on this one, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. So yeah, you can. There's different ways to look in it. Someone's asking about timeframes. I like 15-minute for new launches. For more established coins, 4 hours. we'll talk more about that tomorrow. That's okay, because 15 minutes gives you the ability to see if you have 8 bars and a coin's launched in the last 2 hours, that's usually enough to start seeing data and patterns emerging, which we'll talk about more tomorrow. Okay, so I'll give you the heads up on that one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've gone 90 minutes and we need to wrap this puppy up. So one last thing, and I should do this in the official capacity, is the code for today. Again, that code is MetaMask. Okay, so that's the second code. Keep that in mind. Keep it the homework in mind, and go to the group, the Discord group, post your big aha moment from today, and we'll pick a winner for tomorrow. And then tomorrow, we're going to give you a trading tool for paper trading, give you a virtual $100,000, and we'll play on. How to get to Discord. Again, so yeah, this will win you the $100. We did the $100 from yesterday earlier on. Matthew R got that. So congratulations. So yeah, this is, I'll pick a aha moment from today and give out another $100 tomorrow. Okay. Victor, go, if anyone has problems going to Discord, follow the instructions we give you on the Start Here page. Can you put the, yeah, thank you. So that's accessing your products and everything else, we cover it in that. If you have access problems with Discord, uninstall it, reinstall it, create a new account, what have you. But again, I am not Discord support, okay? It's a pretty simple bloody program. I can't spend 20 minutes every session helping people with Discord. Okay, it's a simple process. I walk through it. Go do your best. All right. The aha, yeah, it's in, put your aha moment in Discord. Okay, not in Facebook, because we're not doing Facebook. So that's a typo, that's an old thing. Okay, so Discord. Okay, cool. Yeah, the reason I keep referring to Facebook is we used to do this masterclass in Facebook. But Zuckerberg. So we do it in Discord now. Okay, right. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time and attention. If you're not in Discord, figure that out by tomorrow. I'm not Discord support. I can't help you with stuff. Do some Googling, whatever your problem is, it can be solved. It's a very simple bloody tool. All right. That being said, thank you. Well, that's it. We'll see you tomorrow. Oh, by the way, for the red carpet, folks, go over to that link, which I will not say publicly. We'll see you over there. I keep forgetting to call, hey, red carpets after this. Yeah, go to the red carpet, go to that special link. I'm going to get a different drink, and I'll be right there. All right, cool. Thank you. Take care.